It's market day in Sherwood Content. Uh, can you tell me a little about market day in Sherwood Content, Trelawny?
Yes, market day in Sherwood Content usually falls on a Saturday. Now, it goes during the week, but the main market day would be Saturday when most, if not all, of the surrounding villagers would take their products, farm products mainly, to Falmouth Market. Sherwood Content, Trelawny was one of the major areas that supplies food products to the market, and the people would come out all dressed in their nice clothes with their wide skirts, and they would have their little bib for their money made inside their skirts. So this was one feature of the way people dressed to go to the market. And so the transportation they used was supplied by one of three men who owned trucks in Sherwood Content at the time. The trucks would come at different intervals in the mornings, and same way in the evening. So in the first truck would come around 5:30, 6 a.m. It would pick up a lot of people on the way and drive around until it was full to capacity. Then it would continue to Falmouth Market. The next one would come an hour after, or an hour and a half after. They would do the same thing, and the third one would come another hour. The latest they would come would be about 8:30, not later. So the last one comes at 8:30, does all the rounds, pick up the people who were left behind, and anyone who didn't get that truck would have to wait for a bus, because there's usually a bus that comes all the way from Kingston and it drives through Sherwood, and that bus would take whatever the leftovers were, because people who didn't get on any of the trucks would be still waiting. They would wait for that bus, but they would be late, because that bus usually doesn't get through Sherwood until 9 o'clock or thereafter, and it would travel through Sherwood to Falmouth and continue to Montego Bay. So that was the scenario with transportation.
What would the farmers sell in Falmouth Market?
Oh, the people from Sherwood Content, their products usually consist of farm products, local products such as yams, ground provisions, yams, potatoes, sweet potatoes, cocoas, green banana, plantain, and fruits such as oranges, jackfruit, tangerine, mangoes, all these stuff that they would have in abundance in Sherwood at the time. They would put them on the truck, and they would take them to the market.
Can you describe Falmouth Market?
Falmouth Market was a place like a two-tiered market. There was one elevation that most people who sell stuff like baked goods and homemade goods would occupy that area, and their stalls would be set up differently from the ones that are down on the ground floor, so to speak. And there'd be like about 6, 7, 8 steps leading up to the higher elevation. And it was right in the middle of the town of Falmouth, and where you'd have there was a roundabout that circles the market. So it was a place that you couldn't miss. If you go to Falmouth, you would be sure to see it.
How busy was Falmouth Market?
Quite busy. Many people come from all around. That was the area where people go to buy their weekly products for their families. And some people would go there to get clothing products that these vendors from Kingston would bring in, and They would buy clothing products for their children to go to school and for, even adults to purchase stuff like that.
How successful would you say the farmers, the people, the vendors?
The vendors, they were successful. Based on my observation, they always seem to have sold off their load and returned home without any of the products that they took there. So to me, that was a very successful market day, usually.